Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the garage. I hope y'all are having a great weekend. I've got another product that we're getting ready to unbox and review.
I gave him the muscle. Yeah, he's blue, Daddy.
Yeah. Foam cannon. Here we go. Help me out. 1, 2, 3.
Whoa!
Boom.
That thing is cool.
There we go. Alright guys, here we go. What we've got today,
So I'll put the box away. Then
Oh,
I'll
thanks,
come
bud.
back.
I've got a little pressure washer by a company called Wholesun. They were kind enough to send me this pressure washer out to give it a review and do some testing on it. So we're going to get it put together, get everything hooked up, and you know, we'll run some water to it and we'll see how well it does.
And we'll show you how hot it will pressure wash.
Yep.
And let's see how far it can shoot water.
Yep, that's right. So as part of the testing, the pressure washer, again, this is an electric pressure washer. So the manufacturer claims with this pressure washer, this can put out up to 3,000 PSI at 2.4 gallons per minute. So we're going to test out both of those. This thing has a 1600 watt motor on it, and it is equipped with TSS, which is a total stop system, and we'll take a look at that when we get to using it. I've got a couple different things here we're going to try it on. I've got my car. We're going to hook up the foam cannon that comes with it, which is right here.
And it's a little foam cannon.
It's a little foam cannon, yeah. We got some sidewalk that we can try. I've got some siding that we can try to clean it on. So a little bit of everything. We're going to try and put it through its paces and see how well it does. So let's get it put together and start cleaning. Alright guys, so assembly was actually pretty easy. As you saw from that quick time lapse there, all I had to do was just assemble and screw in this hose reel on top and then the cord holder on the back side. So just 6 screws total and it was good to go. So I just want to go through the accessories that come with the pressure washer that come in the box, just so you guys get a feel for what you get for your money. So first off, of course, you've got your pressure wand, and this is, you know, seems like a pretty straightforward connection, and it just, you know, you put it in there, twist, and then it locks into place, and then, you know, it's almost like a quick connect almost, and then to disconnect it, you know, simply push in, twist counterclockwise and pull out, and then when you do that, you can then insert this brush attachment that comes with it. Again, just a simple push, twist, and it locks in place and it's good to go. These connections, you know, are plastic. You know, they do have some give to them. So, you know, if you're washing your car, your you know, bus, RV, you know, that is gonna flex a little bit as you're working. But you know, for what it is, I think that's a pretty good accessory that comes with it. My other electric pressure washer did not come with this sort of brush. Alright, so your other accessory that comes in the box is this little foam cannon. You know, it looks like it holds maybe, well, it's 250 mils worth of liquid, which, you know, is not a terrible, which is not a lot of product that you could put in here, you know, soap or whatever for washing your car. You know, I go through, for example, a foam cannon about this size, you know, while I'm washing my car. So, you know, this thing is probably going to be limited in, you know, what you can use, what you can spray. And for me, I'm probably just going to toss this to the side and use the other foam cannon that I have. You get 4 nozzles here, so 15, 0, 25, and 40 degree nozzle for your pressure washer. I thought, and maybe I was thinking of something else, I thought this one came with a soap nozzle, but it did not. So you get the four tips for the pressure washer. And then you also have, so let's take a look at this here. Actually, I just want to show you guys this real quick. I'm going to show you the back side here, show you how this connects. So you got, you know, a little storage section over here. On both sides, for the brush and the pressure lance, and it looks like, I guess, you have to take them apart to store them separately, and I may not be doing this right, but this is kind of, I don't know. It's okay. It's okay. But if you wanted to store it together, you know, I guess you could. I guess you could store that together, but you know, as you can see right there, this holder here is kind of on the flimsy side, and this thing, you know, the wand is kind of top heavy, so that thing could easily fall out. So it looks like you'd have to, you know, disconnect your pressure wand every time you wanted to store it. So that's that. Alright, so this thing does come with a pretty long cord here. This is nice, you know, give you some length and reach when you're pressure washing. You know, it does have a GFCI adapter on the end of it. That's good. And then if I'm not mistaken, this pressure hose is a 20-foot pressure hose. Now for me, on my other pressure washer, my other one came with a 25-foot hose, and I found myself having to pull and lift and drag the pressure washer, you know, all around the car while I was washing. So for my other one, I actually ended up buying another 25-foot section of hose to make it, of course, 50-foot long, and then that gives me the flexibility to walk all the way around my car while I'm doing the pressure washing. So for me, this 20-foot hose here, you know, is probably not going to be as convenient and as user-friendly as having, you know, 40 or 50 feet. I'm not sure if this company, Wholesun, sells pressure washer hoses, if they sell extensions, but it should not be that hard. That looks like that's just your standard 3/8 quick connect, it looks like. But anyway, it should not be hard, you know, to go on Amazon or wherever and just find an extension hose for this thing. So speaking of hoses, let's take a look at this hose reel. Alright, so the hose reel up top here, you know, this is going to hold your 20 feet of hose, and, you know, it appears to hold it quite nicely. You know, and then that you know, just rolls out as you need it. I can see very easily using this thing in real-world applications, and you get this guy set up, and you just, you know, you're ready to go pressure washing. You're ready to go, so you just grab a hold of this pressure hose and start pulling on it. You know, that thing is not very bottom heavy. It's not very heavy at all, actually, which is actually pretty nice. But you know, that said, you know, you're going to have to, you know, pull this thing out as you go, and you're not going to be able to, you know, just run all the way out with it. So, all right, so just a little more setup here. You know, again, you've got this fixed hose here that goes into the hose reel, and this guy just goes right on the front of the unit. Just take the cap off here. Oh, I'm going to do one thing. So what I like to do on all my pressure washer hose connections, you know, this is a rubber O-ring right there. I just like to take a little high temp grease and just put that right on the O-ring there, just to, you know, give it a little more sealing power. Not that this thing is going to leak, but just something I've done over the years, and you know, it hasn't failed me yet. I'm just going to put a little grease on there, get this guy plugged in. Go ahead and screw this into the front. Alright, so we're ready to go. Now the only thing left we have to do is actually connect the pressure washer lance to the pressure washer hose itself. Alright, so taking a look at the quick connect here for the actual pressure lance, this one's a little bit unique to me in that you've got kind of like a quick release button on the front, you know, that opens up these tabs inside the pressure gun itself. So to hook up the pressure hose, you know, you simply push the button on the front, put your pressure hose in there, and then it's locked in place. You know, we'll see how well that does with you know, sealing out the water and everything, but you know, to me that kind of seems like a potential point of failure. Maybe not for holding the pressure hose in, but just this little piece right here, you know, it is a little wobbly. It's got, you know, two small wires that are holding in the pressure hose. So to me that kind of seems like a potential point of failure, but we'll see how it does. I wanted to share something with you here, just a quick observation. From a product design standpoint, you know, for me, it's just a little cumbersome to get my hands around this knob to tighten the garden hose, just simply because of where it's located. You know, it's not protruding out of the unit, but it's more flush with the back of the unit. So, you know, to get my hands, you know, to get a full grip on that collar, you know, is just a little cumbersome. But I was able to get the hose on. Hopefully it doesn't leak. We're ready to start pressure washing. All right, guys, so I got everything hooked up. The pressure washer hooked up just fine to my garden hose. I did have a little leak at the very beginning when I turned the water on, but I just didn't have that collar tight enough. So I had to go back, turn the water off, and then retighten the hose and the collar, and appears to be dry now, so we're all good. So I'm going to start off, I'm going to do this little section here of my sidewalk, and I'm going to start off using this 40-degree tip. Let's just see how this pressure washer does with this stained concrete here. All right. All right, here we go. All right, so let me get you guys in close here. Now, this actually worked a little bit better than I was anticipating it would. So that is great, but the bad news is now I've got to do the rest of the sidewalk. But I just want to show you guys here, take a look at the sidewalk. You know, this is, of course, stained concrete, and you know, my downspouts right there. So, I mean, you can see how well this pressure washer works, you know, just for cleaning off a sidewalk. Alright guys, so I wanted to test the pressure output with my pressure gauge here, but this is actually a little bit too big for this pressure washer. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to test the output of this little guy. But just from experience and from comparison to my other pressure washer, which is also an electric pressure washer, it just happens to be a Sunjo SPX 3000, which is rated at 2300 PSI. I did test that one, and that one was putting out about 15 to 1700 PSI. And I feel like just from the feel from this handle and, you know, kind of the pushback I get when I'm washing the sidewalk, that this one is probably pretty close to that 1500 PSI range, not quite the 2000, 2200 PSI, and, you know, certainly not 3000 PSI that the sticker claims as max. The next test I want to do is the flow test. Now, as you saw, the manufacturer says this thing will flow at about 1.8 GPM or about 2.4 GPM max. So I've got a little 2-gallon bucket here, and it doesn't have any graduated marks on the inside, but we're just going to run it for a minute and see how much this thing fills up. All right. So I've got my timer here. Got our bucket in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so there you go. After a minute, I hit that pretty good. So after a minute, we have just a little bit left up to the top of this 2-gallon bucket. So I would say that is darn near close to 1.8 gallons per minute. So on that test, I give it a pass. All right, so the next thing I want to test out is this little foam cannon. Again, I don't have high hopes for this thing, but we're going to test it out anyway. So I've got just some all-purpose degreaser in this thing, because I'm going to try to clean off this outside door here. So again, to get the pressure washer hooked up to your foam cannon, you've got to take off that outer half of the extension. then this guy just slips right in here, twist, and it locks in place like that. All right, guys, here we go. Foam cannon test in 3, 2, 1. All right, so there we go. That actually did a little bit better than I thought it was going to. So you can see it's got some foaming action a little bit. It's getting the product onto the panel. It's getting the product onto your vinyl siding, whatever you want to work with and clean. Now we get to test out that brush. All right, guys, here we go. Here's the last accessory we're going to test out. Once I get this done, I'm going to pressure wash this whole door. We'll get everything wrapped up, buttoned up, cleaned up, and we'll finish up with my final thoughts on this little pressure washer. So here we go with this brush here. Again, all you got to do, insert there, twist, and it locks into place. Let's see how well it does here. All right, before I finish up, let me get you guys in close here so you can see how well this thing is working. All right, so I hope you can see that. Here on the right side, is where I have not scrubbed yet. And then of course here on the left side, that feels squeaky clean almost. So that brush, that's actually a really nice accessory. I like that for using some all-purpose cleaner, degreaser to do your vinyl siding. Now, of course, if you had higher up vinyl siding, taller walls, whatever, you can just get a regular brush on an extension pole. But attaching this thing to the pressure washer just to help with the rinsing process, cleaning this door, for example, works really well. I really like it. Alright guys, so let's get into my final thoughts on this Wholesun pressure washer. At a price point of about $130 at the time of this video, my opinion of this unit is that it's a pretty good value for the money. This is not a commercial unit. I do see this unit being used to clean sidewalks, to clean driveways, to clean some vinyl siding, and I could see this unit being used with like an RV or a camper. If you guys go out of town and have access to 120 volt electricity, I could see this thing being really valuable to those of you that go out camping. Again, it's a very light unit. It's pretty small and compact. You can tuck it away, store it relatively easy, but the pressure and the output of the unit is really good. So I could see it being used for that sort of application as well. So of course, with the pros come some cons. And the cons for me, if I were to use this thing to pressure wash my car, for example, to do some auto detailing, this 20-foot hose that comes with the unit is not going to cut it. I would certainly be looking to add at least another 20, 25 feet, 30 feet of hose just to make it more user-friendly as I was washing and detailing cars. And really the only other con that I can think of about this unit is it does not have storage for the pressure washer nozzles. I really would like to see some sort of compartment or some sort of attachment area where you could just kind of click these pressure nozzles, these tips, into the unit, so you don't have to throw them in your workbench and your toolbox, and hope you can find them the next time you need them. Alright guys, so there you go. There is my testing and review of this Wholesun pressure washing unit. All in all, I feel like this $130 unit is a pretty good value for the money. If you guys want to try out one of these, I will have a link down in the description below if you're interested. Again, I want to say thank you to Wholesun for reaching out to me and sending me this pressure washer to test out and try for myself. As always guys, I appreciate your support. Thank you for stopping by the video, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.